We are spoiled by the thousands of videos available for us to watch covering a variety of topics. However, there are a few subjects that aren't as well documented as they should be, perhaps because no one can yet offer clear explanations on some of the most mind-blowing phenomenons. Arguably the most complicated being the very thing we use to think and rely on to provide answers: the human brain. You see, the brain is a wonderful thing, with many mysteries surrounding it, all so complex it would be impossible to fit into one video. So I'll be focusing on something that we all experience, love to discuss, yet know very little about: dreams. So let's take a look at some of the fascinating yet unanswered questions we have about them, like from the people who say they can see the future through them, to the theories on why we have them in the first place. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Why do we dream? Why do we dream is a question that has been asked since the beginning of time. Yet, despite our increasing advancements in life, we are even working on trips to Mars, there is still no definitive answer to such a seemingly simple question. Why do we all have dreams, and what purpose do they serve? The truth is, no one really knows. Out of all the mysteries I have researched, all the strange animals and sea creatures that roam around, dreams, something that the homeless man on the street and the richest man on the planet all have in common, is still a mystery to us. One thing we do know about them is that they seem to happen during the REM stage of our sleep, when the part of our brain that mediates emotions is incredibly active, and there are plenty of theories at least as to what dreaming is and why it happens. Some researchers believe dreaming has no meaning or purpose, and is just the nonsensical activities of the sleeping brain. But then there are others who say that dreams help us remember our past experiences by turning them into long-term memories. Then there are those who believe dreaming is essential for our emotional and physical health. This is backed up as studies have shown that people who have broken sleep, or whose sleep is constantly interrupted and so do not dream as much, if at all for long periods of time, experience a variety of mental health issues, including increased tension, difficulty concentrating, weight gain, and are more likely to suffer from anxiety and depression. Now, whether this is linked to not dreaming or not sleeping enough is impossible to gauge. But if it is the lack of dreaming, then this could be because a study suggests that dreaming is a way of helping our brain dissolve the problems we may be faced with in everyday life, through various scenarios played out in a controlled environment. Sigmund Freud, the Austrian neurologist and founder of psychoanalysis, who was one of the most influential minds of the 20th century, kind of agreed, although he thought that dreams could be a window into our subconscious thoughts, some of which are deemed unacceptable in society, but can be expressed in a dream. So if there is a pattern that is occurring in your dreams, write it down and figure out if it's something that you could only get away with whilst you're sound asleep. What are lucid dreams? You may have heard of lucid dreams before. They are thrown around a lot, and people go through great lengths to have them. They are the awareness one has whilst dreaming that allows the person to control and gauge the direction of the dream. Now, I do not feel qualified to talk about this, never having a lucid dream, but I've done enough research to find out quite a bit about them, and they're pretty incredible and also insanely mysterious. Think about it, how can you control something that isn't real, that is as close to real as about anything else you can imagine, and be aware of it all whilst asleep in the real world? How and why is this possible? Well, since the title of this video says mysteries about sleep, you already know there isn't an answer to this question, but we can speculate. Research into lucid dreams, which is surprisingly little, has revealed that they occur not when in a state of total REM, like when regular dreams are believed to take place, but in a state between REM and waking. But from what I've heard, everything is the same in terms of taste and texture, except you can do things you would never be able to do. It's basically like your own life video game, except you can solve your real life problems within a dreaming state. You can also fly on command, go anywhere and do anything you've ever wanted to. It sounds too good to be true, but this is a real thing, yet we do not know why or how this happens, because it simply defies logic. A lucid dream sounds a lot like the virtual reality worlds that are becoming popular, and many say we will all be living in soon, where we control our surroundings, except lucid dreaming is already programmed into us and has been since the beginning. Think about that. Why do we have nightmares? If you, which I'm sure you have ever had a nightmare and woken up from it, it can be a terrifying experience where for the first few minutes everything that has happened seemed so real and scary. But why do we have nightmares, and what exactly is going on during one? It's interesting to note that a study showed over 50% of children under 15 will experience nightmares, some of which causes them to continually disrupt theirs and their parents' sleep. And there is some idea behind why this happens. Children's nightmares are believed to be heavily influenced by things that have taken place in the day. A scary film, being bullied in school, or a distressing event, and most children grow out of these nightmares. But for some adults, nightmares still occur on a regular basis, and it's thought to be caused by such a wide range of things that it's impossible to find the exact source. For some, being stressed can cause them. For others, eating cheese or other heavy foods can cause excessive brain activity and in turn nightmares. Conditions like depression or anxiety can exacerbate our likelihood of a nightmare, and studies on blind people have shown that they have more nightmares, possibly caused by their overly active thinking during the day. So although we do not have a definitive answer for what a nightmare is, or why exactly we have them, it seems our life experiences, both past and present, do have a strong influence not only on our lives, but on our dreams. So by addressing things that are troubling us in the day, will help us prevent potentially terrifying nightmares. What I guess is reassuring to know is that no matter how scary a nightmare may be, it is not real, and it's just the same process of a dream, except instead of doing something interesting, you're faced with something that scares you. So we have established that we do not know how or why we dream, but what if dreams serve the purpose of giving us insight into our future? This starts to make sense when you find out how many world-changing inventions came from dreams. For example, Christopher Nolan had the inspiration for the movie Inception through his lucid dreams. Larry Page came up with Google, Tesla came up with the alternating current generator. And how's about this one? Apparently, a man was dreaming he was sledding down a very steep hill and went so fast that he reached the speed of light. The stars around him changed in appearance, and a young Albert Einstein woke up, pondered on this dream for many years, and came up with the formulation for the theory of relativity. Stephenie Meyer had a dream that she wrote down upon waking that spawned into her writing Twilight. Much of Stephen King's work has come from his dreams, which when waking he has used as a starting point for his books, and many more inventions and ideas all started this way. Now this could be down to something innocent, like us already having those ideas in our minds that are just brought forward when dreaming. But there are people who suggest when dreaming, your mind is transported to another world or universe, where these ideas will be planted into our minds. Sounds crazy, but there are things we do not understand, dreams of course being one of them, so anything is possible. I would love to hear if any dreams you've ever had a big impact on your life. Precognition dreaming. Dreams are confusing and mysterious enough as it is, but precognition dreaming is a whole nother beast. Precognition dreams are when people have dreamt something is going to happen, and it really does. This is usually tied to dreaming about disasters or other tragic events that have apparently been visioned by someone or many people prior to happening. And this is by no means an individual case, and happens all the time around the world. There are many examples of people sharing their own stories of dreams coming true, most of which are personal events. But then there are the ones about major things, like the people that say they had dreams days, months, and even years before 9/11. Almost visualizing exactly what happened on that terrible day in a dream, before it did. David Booth reportedly had many nightmares of an American Airlines plane crash in 1997. He even contacted the company to tell them of his nightmares, but they didn't really believe him. Then that year, American Airlines Flight 191 crashed in almost exactly the same fashion David had been seeing in his dreams. Major Archibald Willingham Butt, a passenger on the Titanic, apparently had a dream that it was going to sink, even going as far as contacting his lawyer whilst on board to arrange his will and testament. He was unfortunately killed when the Titanic sank, but how did he dream this before it happened? Probably the most famous is Abraham Lincoln, who had a dream on April 12, 1865, that he was walking up to a body in his dream that was covered in a funeral vestment. When he asked who it was, a man said, "The president, he was killed by an assassin." After having this dream, Abraham told a few people about it before being assassinated 3 days later. These are just the most famous examples of people seemingly having prophecies in dreams, and it makes you wonder if the future somehow is pushed onto us whilst we're sleeping, perhaps from another world or higher power, like I mentioned in the previous topic. Or maybe our lives are mapped out, and our dreams occasionally allow us to see that. What do you think? If you want to learn more about these, then check out the article on my website, 5 mind-blowing prophecies and inventions that came from dreams. If you don't want to read it, I've narrated it for you to sit back and enjoy listening to. So there's 5 mysteries surrounding dreams that it doesn't seem will be getting answered anytime soon. It's just mind-blowing that something we all experience, something we all have in common, can be something that we all, myself included, overlook and cannot fully understand. For me, dreaming reassures the belief that our minds and bodies couldn't be different. Our bodies are simply machines that move us around and allow us to physically do things, but our minds and the reality they allow us to see are on a different level. It would not surprise me if there's a lot more to dreams than we think, and this would make sense since they're so damn hard to study. Thanks for watching, never stop dreaming, and I'll see you in the next video.